Welcome back, guys, to another ABL Sports video. We are continuing our NFL team recap series. Today, we are doing the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm joined by Johnny.
What's up, y'all? Pleasure to be here. My boy Austin.
Yes, sir. And we are just going to be recapping the Steelers season. So, first question, as always, for these season recaps, Johnny, as a Steelers fan, going into this season, the Steelers, they have a competent quarterback for the first time since Big Ben. What were your expectations for the Steelers going into this season?
That's a great question, man, to start us off. To be honest, I just wanted to have a fun season. We haven't had a good QB since Ben. Even in Ben's final couple of years, he wasn't good at all. He was too slow, immobile.
I think
And so,
2018 was his last good year.
yeah, exactly. So, this year I was really just hoping to get some more fun, because I wasn't expecting us to be contenders, especially after the last couple years. It's been like, I mean, the Steelers fans know with me, bro. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. The same thing keeps happening every year, and so coming into the year, I really just wanted to see like some cool A-Rod, vintage A-Rod, because him on the Steelers uniform is pretty crazy.
Yeah, so Aaron, yeah, like I said, the addition of Aaron Rodgers, when you got Aaron, because here's the thing, when you had Mason Rudolph as your quarterback until June, you thought maybe this is the season the Steelers go under 500, end up with a top 10 pick, and draft, like, well, at the time people were saying Arch Manning, but now it would be like a Fernando Mendoza.
Hmm.
And I was like, may not be the worst thing in the world, but in Mike Tomlin, that would not be a possibility. And we'll get into the Mike Tomlin firing because he wasn't stepped down; he was asked to leave.
Most
And
definitely.
funny enough, you guys started the season. I'm looking at this 4-1, like, and you beat decent teams like the Vikings at the time. Everyone thought was a good team. The
Hmm.
Jets was a crazy game. They ended up just being the worst team in the NFL. The Patriots too. They played in the
We
Super
beat the
Bowl.
Patriots. I know
Yeah,
this is what we were saying. I was joking around after the Super Bowl that it would have been a good fight because not only did we beat the Patriots, we actually put up a really close game versus the Seahawks.
which no
We
one
ended up
did this year besides the Rams.
Yeah, we ended up losing. We ended up losing that game because Caleb Johnson had that play where he like basically didn't pick up the kickoff and they got a free touchdown and that lost us the game. So I was joking around with my brother that like, dude, we put up a fight versus the two Super Bowl contenders, but we couldn't put up a fight against almost any other team, really.
Yeah. So, and I was kind of, I want to go shift towards the mid-season. So, you
Hmm.
guys, started 4-1, lost a couple games, but then started winning again. But when you were 4-1, all of a sudden Joe Burrow's injured and it looked like he was going to be out for the season. So that eliminates the Bengals. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson's injured and the whole team just gets injured. And the Browns are the Browns. Like, you're going to lose a game to them a year,
We
but
will.
I mean, they're still not going to win the division.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're like, I'm thinking in my head, the Steelers' schedule just became really easy because two tough teams, the Bengals and Ravens, those could be 4 wins. And I think you ended up winning three of those 4 games. But still, I was
Yeah.
like, you guys win those 4 games. And I was looking at your schedule because at the time, like looking at your schedule, you had like the Bengals, Packers, Colts, Chargers, when the Chargers were all injured at the time they got healthy. The Bengals again, and then the Bears, who in the midseason, they were not considered a good team. They ended up obviously being a top 5 team in the NFL. And I was like, the Steelers could mess around. They could find themselves with the 2 seed in the AFC. Like they really could. And then,
Hmm.
stuff happened. Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Another 9-8 season, one missed kick away from not even being in the playoffs. And it was, and it just, first round, you get eliminated by the Texans. Damian scored a touchdown. It was just like, yeah, just another Steelers season, the thing we've been accustomed to.
It's crazy because this keeps happening. It's like I don't know what the Steelers have like some voodoo magic in the regular season. Not only was these injuries popping up all the way around, the Ravens started off the year horribly. Like they were almost eliminated from the playoffs from the get-go. It's kind of crazy that we had to beat them in that last game to make it because they started off like what, 2-6, something like that. They
I think
couldn't
1-5, yeah,
Yeah,
something
1-5.
crazy
Like
like that.
they couldn't get nothing going. And I knew that like this is just how the Steelers go. This happens every year where the Steelers are get to off to a hot start. And that hot start can continue for a little bit, but once you start playing like actual competent teams, like the Bills in particular, they seem to always foil our
Oh
kind of
yeah.
pretending nature and they kind of show other teams like how you can really beat the Steelers. And it just happens time and time again. Like I would say that I was hype at the start of the year. We were 4-1 or whatever we were, dude, but I can't tell you I was. I knew it was gonna happen. I was more hype when we were going up last year with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I had more confidence then than I did with
Yeah,
this team because, I mean, you know how it goes with the Steelers. We have the lineups, but really it's just a coaching issue. It wasn't even Mike. It wasn't even only Mike Tomlin. It was the people he had around him as well. Austin, the defensive coordinator, was just awful. We had the most expensive defense in the league, and yet continually, like even in the first game of the season, Jets had 31 points on us, you know?
yeah. So, do you just want to get into the Mike Tomlin thing now and just rip the Band-Aid off? Because the season was like every other season. The only difference is you guys had a home playoff game for the first time
Hmm.
since 2020, and looked like the same kind of playoff game as everything else in the past 5 years. So,
Yes.
going into the offseason, Aaron Rodgers, I think it's fair to say he had a pretty good year. Like,
For
and the
sure.
Jets, even when he was playing with the Jets, he was good. But as you can see with Sam Darnold, the Jets don't make anyone look good.
Yeah,
Like, they're
yeah.
just a joke of a franchise. So going in the offseason and the whole like I will call it Black Monday because that's what they call it for the coaching changes.
Hmm.
Did you expect Mike Tomlin, the Steelers, to part ways?
I did, and
Yeah.
honestly, I thought that after his performance in the opening wild card game, I thought that it was kind of like this. I felt
The
like it
writing
was
on the
really,
wall.
yeah, I really felt that it was his kind of call because you could see the disappointment. Like I watched the post game interview and everything just because I was so curious about what's going to happen because that was just like the deciding factor basically that game. And you could tell just the disappointment that he had in himself. And honestly, man, you can't be a real Steelers fan and not say that you like have respect and like actually can like see where Tomlin's coming from. Like at the end of the day, there's been a lot of like fun moments as a Steelers fan, and Tomlin's a just a good coach, just not the right culture setter for the Steelers anymore. But yeah, I knew that it was the end of the reigns right after that last playoff game, especially since we go up 6-3 and then they score like 30 points straight on us. Like there
Yeah,
was
and
no,
two of their touchdowns were defensive touchdowns. Their offense could have not went on the field and they still would have won.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
so so you fire Mike Tomlin, you have the first coaching search in your lifetime as a Steelers fan. What coach were you hoping for? Because I can imagine it was not Mike McCarthy.
No, it was not. I wanted us to go young, really. I thought that so the Steelers, I mean, most Steelers fans that I would say that I've talked to agree that we should probably go on the route of a rebuild. You've seen how it works in like almost every sport.
Mhm.
Like a rebuild is gonna work in the future as long as you're patient and you get a strong foundation. So at first, I wanted us to get Jesse Minter.
Yes.
Um,
That's who I
obviously.
wanted for you guys.
Yes, I mean, not only am I a Michigan fan, but I thought that it would just bring a new culture to
And it's
to
still
the
a
Steelers
defensive mindset.
defensive mindset, which is perfect for the Steelers. And then not only that, but it's just some youth that like the Steelers are just not used to anywhere in anywhere, not even on the roster. We have no youth. So I wanted us to go that route. Obviously, the worst case scenario happens and he goes to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Like that honestly made my heart sink.
But he cut his teeth in Baltimore. If you kind of looked at it from like a further, like a further view, he spent I think 5 years with the Ravens before going to Michigan and the Chargers. So it did kind of make sense.
Oh yeah.
But like I was thinking, the Steelers quarterback has been an issue for you guys. Aaron Rodgers stabilized it, and I think he'll probably be back next year. But let's think about it. Two best quarterbacks in your franchise history are Terry Bradshaw and Big Ben. I think you would say, right?
Indeed.
Terry Bradshaw, he was the first overall pick. Big Ben, he was the 11th overall pick. And I think it's okay to be bad for a year. I'm a Chiefs fan. We were bad for a lot of years, and even when we were good, we still got Mahomes. We traded up to the 10th pick, but we know the Steelers just won't trade up in the draft. But it's just like it just felt like the hiring of Mike McCarthy. It made me cringe because it's just like it's the same thing. It's the offense of Mike Tomlin without like kind of the culture aspect. It's like hire a Chris Shula, hire a Jesse Minter, like do something. Like it doesn't even have to be an offensive coach, even though this is an offensive league. Like and also spend some money on the offense. Like I
Seriously.
know you guys have had the highest paid defense for I think 6 straight years. Like
But
spend some of that money on the offense. All the rules are catered towards the offense. And want to know what? You want to rebuild? Maybe trade TJ Watt first for a first round pick. I know he's kind of the icon of your guys' team, but you guys, like the Steelers, in my opinion, the perfect comparison to the Steelers right now in the NBA is the Golden State Warriors. Like
Dude.
they're not gonna be good enough to win a champ. The Warriors are a
Oh
little
man.
different because they still have a somewhat of a prime Steph Curry, but
Hmm.
you are not gonna be good enough to win a championship. And the Warriors, they don't have the assets to trade for Giannis because the Bucks, they were really trying, and the Steelers, they don't have the assets to go and get like a really good quarterback. Like let's just say a Dak Prescott became available for trade or something like that. Like they wouldn't like they don't really have the assets to go do that in the cap room to do that. And it's just like it just felt like hiring Mike McCarthy. He's gonna be your coach for 5 years. You're gonna have win 9 or 10 games every year. And the problem is your ownership because that's what they wanted.
Hmm. Yeah, dude, there's a lot to unpack right there, but a lot of the things you said really stood out to me because I feel the same way. Not only did we trade for DK Metcalf out of the blue, just which did not fit the scheme at
Didn't
all
make
last
sense
year.
either. And you paid him $30 million. Like that's why I was
Why would you grab somebody who's good after the catch and in the middle when you have a deep ball specialist like Rodgers? And why would you get rid of the best deep ball catcher in the league, George Pickens? I
and
mean,
you weren't
there's
paying Pickens for 2 more years. Like that's the crazier thing too.
And I can't, I mean, obviously there's problems in the locker room with Pickens. Like we probably couldn't have kept him even if we wanted him to. But that's another issue. That just shows how many issues the Steelers had. That was a coaching thing right there. Why George Pickens went and balled out and took CeeDee Lamb's spot as the number one receiver on the Dallas Cowboys. That is unreal. And guess what? The Seahawks got better without DK Metcalf, and we just took him to get suspended in the most important game of the year and have what, 5 catches for like 30 yards against
Yeah.
the Texans.
Didn't do anything against Stingley. Like, yeah, that's why I don't get like the Steelers, and it's kind of funny because historically, the Steelers are arguably the best ran franchise in NFL history. I think, now with the Patriots under Robert Kraft, that's
For sure.
indisputable. They're number one. But, you think of best run franchises, Patriots, Packers, Steelers. Like, those are what you think. In the Steelers, I mean, this ownership group, like, I feel bad for kind of shitting on them because they did make some good hires with Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher. But do you think that could may have been, hey, maybe they got lucky twice? Like, for example, like sometimes for the Chiefs with Andy Reid, when the Eagles fired him, they got so like he dropped right in their lap. The Chargers with Jim Harbaugh. Like, and it's just the Steelers. It's just the same cycle every year. And I feel like we're going to be doing this talk next year at this time. It's going to be the exact same thing, except you guys probably won't have a home playoff game.
Not only that, I think next year, my prediction is going to be our first losing year. What I hope to see next year is okay, sure, we can have some fun with Rodgers. I don't think he's going to make it past the full year, first off.
Oh
I
no.
think that it's time. They obviously the Steelers have invested some time and effort into Will Howard, and obviously we used a
Yes.
draft pick on
I
him.
was hoping you would bring him up.
I think it's time that okay, sure, the Steelers are going the route of we're not going to do a high draft pick QB. There could be some benefits in that. I'm not going to say I hate it. So at this point, next year needs to be McCarthy turning Will Howard into the next A-Rod. Obviously, they have that connection with A-Rod. It needs to be they have to be cooking up something because otherwise, this Mike McCarthy hire makes zero sense.
Oh, 100%. So my original plan for the Steelers was what I would have done, and this was assuming Rodgers retired because now he's probably coming back for next year. Play Will Howard next year because it's gonna be one of two things. Like best case scenario, he's your franchise quarterback, and I'm not
Hmm.
talking like a Mason Rudolph, like Mac Jones. I'm talking like a Big Ben. He's gonna be there for 15 years, or if he's not good, you're gonna end up with a top five pick and just a couple of quarterbacks in next year's draft. I'll mention the obvious ones like Arch Manning, who, if let's just be honest, he is ascending big time. I mean, he had 20 touchdowns in the last 7 games for Texas. I mean, he's a beast. Um, Josh Hoover, who many people don't know his name yet. They're gonna know his name next year. Sam Levitt, ASU to LSU.
Yep.
Jaden Mayava, the kid at USC. If he gets his accuracy down, he's 6'4",
He's
220.
a good player. I've seen him
Yeah.
this year
No, he's a good physical player. And also Julian Saint from Ohio State. I mean, he is a pure passer.
for
Like, I mean,
sure.
those are 5 first round caliber quarterbacks alone. And the Steelers could probably get the best one out of those next year if they would have just, kind of just, like maybe take a 4-13 season.
Yeah, and that's why. I mean, that's ultimately the reason why Tomlin's gone because he physically cannot have a losing season.
He's too good of
He'll
a coach.
do whatever he can to win the game. And if that means sacrificing the team chemistry, the team identity, and all that, which he's done for the past 4 or 5 years, he'll do it just to get the winning record. And and that's fine for the GM and for all like the people who are trying to make money off the team. But for the fans, this is torture. It's straight up torture. And I think it's such a good thing for teams to like have that new kind of face and someone that they can like really gravitate to. I mean, you see the Patriots, they were rebuilding 2 years ago and now they're in the Super Bowl. Like
Hmm.
it doesn't it really matters about like kind of getting that youth in there so that there's some hope and some belief in the franchise, not like relying on these old players like Aaron Rodgers to give us some type of hope because like obviously it's fun for the moment, but it's no like real competition. Like the Steelers are seriously the joke of the league.
Yeah, no, I couldn't like agree more. The only thing that saves you is you're in the division with the Browns. But so we're already kind of talking about the offseason, but is there any specific moves you would like to see the Steelers do this offseason? Or in the
Yeah,
draft, is there any players you like?
I would say something that I think that we should definitely do. I love TJ, but I think exploring options for some sort of trade uh just to benefit the offense because I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen it around the league this year, especially with teams like the 49ers. Players step up on the defense all the time.
Oh yeah.
And it's something that doesn't happen as much on the offensive end because it's just more of a raw talent thing. But on defense, you can see with the 49ers, they lost their entire starting cast and their entire second string came in just as good as the first team. And so I just think that the Steelers already have that defensive identity. Why not just give us some offensive firepower? Because that's where we are really lacking this year. I think that we should continue to try to involve Calvin Austin. I think he's probably one of the most underrated players on our team. His speed is just elite. And I just think that in general, we got to improve the offense somehow. That's all it is. We got to give Will Howard and Aaron Rodgers something to work with. That's all I got to say. Just so that they can, just so that we can develop Will Howard further and I don't know, just give some confidence to the offense that has been literally like clowned upon for the last 10 years.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like trade TJ Watt to someone like the Bears and like have them give you their late first rounder because he's still worth a first rounder. Next year he probably won't be, but you could still get a
Mhm.
first rounder for TJ Watt. He's probably got two prime years left. And I
Yeah,
mean, obviously he gets injured a lot, but he's just, that's part of the game.
not like TJ is he is the Steelers. Like
Oh
we
yeah.
everybody on the Steelers loves him. We all were like, there's nothing but love for TJ Watt. He's brought everything to the Steelers. He gave us all of our entire identity the last 5 years. It's not only that I want him, I actually want him to succeed somewhere else. Like seriously, he needs a
Yeah.
fresh start. Like he's being held back completely by the Steelers because he has to lead it by himself. And so I just think, I mean, if you think about it, there's players on the like right now on the Patriots, Robert Spillane. We had to get rid of him because of cap space because we had too much depth.
Yeah.
That we could have him right now and we could have just so many more options. I think you were right completely about it's an offensive league. The rules are tailored around the offense. So you can have such a great defense, but at the end of the day, the offense is going to find a way to prey on a weakness somehow. And if
Yeah.
you don't have the offense to, control the game at all, your defense, it's impossible for the Steelers defense to win all these games. And they do win games just from the defense, but it's impossible to keep that going throughout the whole season.
Yeah, and I know, and like I know we said it's an offensive league, and I'll address the things. I know people are going to say, "Well, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl being the best defense in the league." Let me counter that. JSN, he's a top three receiver in the league. They're not paying him yet. He's on a rookie contract. Kenneth Walker, rookie contract.
Disgusting.
Sam Darnold, he's making 33 million a year, but he's playing like he's making 55.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the Seahawks, their whole offense is just on rookie contracts. I guarantee you, in about 2 years, the Seahawks offense will be making a lot more than the Seahawks defense. I'm pretty sure their offense is still higher paid than their defense because their O line. I mean, besides Greg Zabel, all those guys are paid handsomely. Like so, and they had a great O line. I mean, the Patriots just couldn't get through.
Hmm.
Williams, who's a beast. And their defense, like I mean, the only guys they're paying on their defense, I think, is Leonard Williams and Chenna Nwosu. And looking at Chenna Nwosu had the kind of pick six in the Super Bowl. So, any last thoughts about the Steelers? Because, if ABL was a thing last season, we would have been having the same talk after last offseason. I have a feeling we're going to be having the same talk next offseason.
Yeah,
So,
hopefully next season there's at least some type of hope because right now I can speak for all the for all the Steelers fans out there. The hope is really diminished.
the hope for you is a
So
3-14 season. Like, that's kind
that's
of
what
like
we're
what you
hoping
guys
for.
want.
And I am ready for that. I've seen it just work countless times. The rebuild literally works. There's no like evidence to disprove a rebuild. You can't just go 9-8 and 9-8 until you make it to the Super Bowl. That never happens. You have to start from your ground level and build up. All these teams that you see, like especially the Seahawks, they're a really young team. So are the
And they
Patriots.
had early picks from the Broncos a couple of years ago. Like, Witherspoon was the fifth pick. Even the Patriots, like the last 2 years, they were picking top five.
Yep. Like you can see that there's evidence in it, and it's not even in football only. You can see the same thing happening in basketball. All the teams that rebuilded 3, 4 years ago are at the top of the league, and all the teams that tried to hang around like the Warriors, which is a perfect comparison to the Steelers, in my opinion,
Yeah.
um, are screwed for the next 5 years, at least 5, 10 years.
Oh, 100%. Well, thank you, Johnny, for joining us. We really appreciate it. This was a great video.
For sure.
And yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be having a similar conversation exactly a year from now. So thank you. Johnny's clothing brand, not the same LA, will be linked in the description. We're going to try to make Johnny a regular on ABL Sports as well. And
Heck
yeah,
yeah.
appreciate you coming on.
Nah, dude, appreciate you for having me, bro. It's fun. Love talking ball.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Subscribe.